Previously on Gains Poker.
3,600. Yeah, I mean, that definitely was not fun, having the biggest loss of my poker career. That's right, guys, it's still the same day, just a few hours later, coming off the biggest loss of our lives. But that's not gonna stop us. We're not giving up. We're looking to get it back. Because when have we ever been the type of person to quit and give up? Nope, not gonna happen. Some people call it stubbornness. I call it drive, consistency, hard work ethic. I knew when I signed up for this that big losses were gonna happen eventually. That's just the name of the game of poker, but it's what you do afterwards that defies you. If you can't already tell, we're at the Aria, brand new 2-5 game just opened up with a $1,500 max buy-in. We have a lot of interesting hands to go over, so let's get started. The first hand we're gonna go over, it's our third hand dealt in. We're in the hijack with Queen 9 of clubs. Folds around to us, and we raise it up and make it $20. And I try to think of a reason why I made it $20 instead of 15, just a standard 3x. Maybe there was a person that posted, but honestly, I really don't know. Maybe a misclick, but anyway, we make it $20. Only the big blind makes the call, so we're heads up to a flop, and it comes 10-9-8 with 2 diamonds. He checks in flow to us, and we have middle pair, gut shot, straight draw, so we have a little bit of showdown value. This is a wedding connected board, favoring his range more than ours. So it's a toss-up whether we want to bet for protection or check back for pot control. In this case, we just decide to pot control and check back. So onto a free turn, and it's a black 2, it's a 2 of spades. He leads this time for $30. And this is why we check back the flop, to keep the pot small and manageable. We make the call, and the river is another black card, it's a 4 of spades. A complete brick, all the flush draws, all the straight draws miss, but the big blind keeps his foot on the gas and throws out another bet, makes it 45 this time. Raising doesn't make too much sense the way we played our hand, so we just toss in the $45 for a call. He flips over his cards and he has one better, Queen 10 offsuit. So we were behind the whole way, we just happened to both catch our pairs. I'm like, here we go again, getting shown one better. If you've seen my last video of our 10-20-40 session at the Bellagio, you'll know what I'm talking about. An orbit goes by into this next hand. There's a few limpers in the field. Action on us, and we're on the button with ace deuce of hearts. Too many players involved for my liking, so we raise it up, make it $30 to go. Wanting to get all the BS limpers out of there. The small blind folds, the big blind reaches for some chips and raises to $75. All the limpers get out of the way, action back on us, and we make the call, why not? We have a suited ace in position, and the flop comes 5-4-4 rainbow. The big blind first act, throws out a c-bet, makes it around half pot, $85. We have one over, backdoor nut flush draw, and a gutter, so we make the call with some evil intentions on some good runouts. Because hands like ace-king, ace-queen suited are not gonna really like us sticking around. Or we can just bink a 3 and be good to go. I'll take that. The turn is not a 3, and it's not a heart either. It's a 7 of spades. Doesn't help us at all. And when he continues firing for $125, there's not much for us to do. We just let it go. After that hand, we add on $300 to our stack, topping off. So now we're in the game for $1,800. Usually at the Aria, depending on the table, there's a bomb pot every dealer change, but we just spaced it the first round. So this time I remembered and I convinced everyone to do one. So we do a $10 bomb pot. There's 7 players total, so there's $70 in the middle, and we're under the gun +1. And if you guys aren't familiar with bomb pots, all it is everybody puts in a set amount pre-flop, and there's no action until after the flop. So 7 players to a flop, and it comes 2-2-8 with 2 diamonds. The action checks to us. We finally look at our cards, and we have a pair. We have 8-9 offsuit. We have a little piece, so why not throw some money in the middle? And we do. We throw out $20. The hijack and the big blind make the call, so now we're 3 ways to a turn. And it kind of improves us. It's a 9 of hearts, giving us a better 2 pair. I say kind of, because if any of these guys have a 2, then we're drawing really slim still. The big blind checks to us, and now we're really going to see if these guys have a 2 or not. I continue and throw out $50. The hijack calls, which pretty much confirms on what he has. So basically going to be shutting it down on any river. The big blind gets out of the way. So now we're heads up. And like I said, shutting it down. That is until the river comes, a 9 of clubs. Oh my God, that is the absolute dream card. I'm like, what? How? Like, how is this possible? All right, now I'm thinking, what can we bet that a 2 will call? We're gonna go big, but how greedy do we want to be? I know he has a 2. I mean, in a dream world, he has the case 9, and he jams whatever I decide to bet, and we get it all in, which is our effective stack, $1,200. But more than likely, he just has a 2, and there's $230 in the middle, so we go with a decent overbet and throw out $315. He asked the dealer how much, and he basically snap calls. I'm like, damn, maybe we could have gotten more. 350, 375, 400. I don't know, what do you guys think of my sizing? That one felt really good to win. It was our turn to get lucky this time and suck out. Let's not stop now, let's keep on building. And we get a chance to, a few hands later. We're in the big blind. The under the gun, first to act, raises to $35, which was kind of big for this game. Pre-flop, that is. The straddle wasn't on, so 35 pre-flop was on the bigger side. So when action folds to us in the big blind, we just call with our red queens. He's been pretty tight thus far, so thinking we should play this cautiously, because normally it'd be a mandatory 3-bet all day. But we're treading, and the flop comes king 3-9 with 2 clubs. We check and flow to the aggressor, and he throws out a c-bet of $60. There's only one overcard to our pair, so can't be folding to just one c-bet. We make the call. The turn doesn't help us at all. It's a 9 of spades, pairing the board. We check to him again, and he continues, this time for $125. We pretty much fold right away. Maybe we should have 3-bet pre-flop, but again, he was a really tight player. So if he did have aces, kings, ace-king, king-queen suited, he wasn't going anywhere pre-flop. So maybe we save some money by playing it slow. But hard to know for sure. Moving on to this hand, we're the under the gun straddle for $10. There's a few limps, the low jack and the button, action on us, and we look down at jack 10 of spades. A pretty hand, so we raise it up to $50. They both make the call, so 3 ways to a flop out of position, and it comes king, queen, 9 with 2 spades. We're out of position, so we're first to act. What do we do? Against 2 opponents, there's definitely a multitude of hands to get value from. We were the aggressor pre-flop, and we can have aces, top set, and this board is super connected, so there's a lot of draws to be had. Pair plus straight draws, smaller flush draws, and even 2 pair combinations. So we make a c-bet and throw out 45. Less than a third pot, hoping that one of them has something, but sadly, they both fold. One day I'll get the action I want flopping a monster. We experienced a little card death for over an hour. I'm in the cutoff in this hand, folds around to us, and we look down at ace-king offsuit. The under the gun straddle is on for $10, so we raise it up 3x, a standard, $30. The button cold calls my raise for 30. The blinds and the under the gun straddle get out of the way. So heads up to a flop out of position. And it comes king, queen, 7, all clubs. Yeah, we have top, but not really liking the all club board. We don't have a club in our hand, so we check to him, see what he wants to do, and he checks back. Onto a turn, and it's a brick, it's a 3 of hearts. Doesn't change anything, so now we can see where we're actually at, and we make a delayed c-bet for $30. He thinks about it for a little bit and makes the call. The river is another brick, it's a 6 of diamonds. We check to him, maybe he wants to turn his ace of clubs into a bluff, and not really sure if we can get much worse to call besides another king. He checks back, flips over his cards, and he has king 10 offsuit. Dang, one of those hands we could have gotten an extra street of value there on the river. 50, 60, easy. But I don't mind our check on the river. There's only 2 more kings unaccounted for, and if he didn't have one of those kings, he would most likely had to bet to win. This next hand is an interesting one. The under the gun straddle is on. The next to act, the under the gun 1, limps for 10. We're in middle position, and we look down at pocket queens. We raise it up to 45, folds around all the way to the big blind, who makes the call. The under the gun straddle gets out of the way. The under the gun 1 limper makes the call as well. So 3 ways to a flop in position. And we hit top set on a super dry board, queen 2-7 rainbow. They both check and flow to us, and this board is just beyond dry, and we have top set. So I think betting in this spot is just suicidal. So we check as well. The turn is the ace of spades, bringing in the full rainbow. They both check again to us, and we need to build this pot some. So we bet super small, throw out $25. They both make the call, so still 3 ways to a river, and it pairs the board. It's a 7 of clubs, hoping that one of them was floating with a 7. and maybe the big blind does because he actually leads for $110. Action on the end of the gun, and he doesn't snap fold. He actually tanks. I'm like, dang, maybe this guy has a 7 as well, and we're gonna stack 2 opponents. But he ends up giving his cards back to the dealer. And now action on us. There's not much of a decision. The big blind has around $260 left in his stack. So I tank, kind of Hollywood a little bit, and announce all in. He actually snap calls, pretty much beating us into the pot. I'm like, am I up against quads? But he confidently shows ace king, and we show him the bad news and stack him. Again, I don't slow play monsters, but that board was just driest of dry, and by us checking allowed him to catch up, and we gained the max. This session is going way better than the last one. Getting good hands that are holding and having a little luck on our side is a recipe for a profitable session. So let's keep building. Let's see if we can add on to our stack with the last hand we're going to go over in this session. We're in the under the gun 1. The under the gun $10 straddle is on, and we're first to act, and we look down at ace queen offsuit. We raise it up a standard 3x to $30, folds around to the cutoff. Who makes the call? The button gets out of the way, and both blinds make the call. So we're 4 ways to a flop, and it just keeps getting better and better. We flop top 2 pair on an ace queen 8 2-spade board. I mean, can't ask for much more. Both blinds check, action on us, and we throw out a c-bet, throw out $75. The cutoff and the small blind get out of the way, but the big blind makes the call. So we're heads up to a turn, and it comes the 4 of clubs, bringing the backdoor flush draw. So now there's 2 flush draws on board. He checks to us again for a second time, and we can't make it cheap if he does have any of those draws. So we double the flop bet and throw out 150. He tanks for about 30 seconds. Not sure if he's thinking about just calling, maybe putting in a raise or folding. It's hard to tell. He looks back at his cards a few times, shuffles some chips, but ultimately does lay it down. So I guess the price was just a little too much for him, but we still take down a decent sized pot. We play for another hour, lose a few small pots, but nothing really crazy happened. So we end the session and call it a night after a super long day of cards. What a comeback. It felt really good to come back after a big loss we just had a few hours before. And that just shows you the swings of this game, the variance, the roller coaster. Because I can honestly say that I think I made less mistakes in the last session where I lost $3,600. So I think I made more mistakes in this one, winning almost $1,000. Like, how does that work? How does that happen? It's not supposed to happen that way. Like, for example, that 9-8 offsuit bomb pot hand. I let out on the flop against 6 other opponents. I got called twice, and I still bet out on the turn where I had no reason to. And then I just get super lucky to go runner, bigger full house to win a huge pot. A hand where I should have easily lost. I shouldn't even have been in the hand, but we won a huge one. This game, right? I mean, maybe that's the beauty of it all, the thrill, the excitement, because you just never know what cards you're gonna get, what cards are gonna fall, who you're gonna play with. I mean, you can go into each session you want thinking, I'm gonna win, I'm gonna do good, but sometimes it just doesn't happen that way. But I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I appreciate all the support. I have another sick vlog coming out very soon, so keep an eye out for that. It's a big session at Resorts World, and something happened there that even shocked me. I know you guys haven't seen me do this yet before, so I know you guys will enjoy it, but that's all I got. I got to get this workout in, keep the gains up, and I'm Matty Ice. Peace out.